So far, Secretary of State John Kerry has issued the clearest justification for U.S. military action in Syria. Kerry called the evidence of chemical weapons use undeniable. He said intelligence strongly points to users being from the regime forces. An attack would most likely involve sea-launched cruise missiles aimed at Syrian military targets. Joining us to talk more about it now, Dr. Shaul Gabbay, the Senior Research Associate with the Korbel School of International Studies at DU. Thank you, sir, for coming in again.
Good morning.
Let's break all this down. First of all, there seems to be a growing list of countries that are doing a little saber rattling right now. Do you think that the U.S. will get involved?
There is no question that the international community and with the leadership of the United States, the leader of this free world, excuse me, has to act in some way. We have to create a norm that the use of chemical weapons is unaccepted. Otherwise, we will have challenges with Iran, with other countries. So this is clear. The question is what kind of action and what kind of message should be sent. In my opinion, it's going to be something which is very precise, very focused, maybe even focused on the chemical capabilities. However, we do have some opposition, the Russians, the Chinese. That's why we cannot operate through international organizations such as the UN. We will have to wait for the investigation of the UN, which took place yesterday and today, to see indeed the legitimacy of such an action. Also, to remind, at the same time, yesterday and today, 10 countries' chief of staff are meeting in the Gulf, including Turkey, the UK, the US, of course, Canada, our traditional allies, and obviously this is something about planning the next step. So it will have to be some step, some action, which sends a very clear message, not just to Syria, but in general to other countries as well, but it will have to be very precise, and it's possible that also we will get some kind of guarantees from Syria, maybe, that will avoid such an action. But in my opinion, it's going to be an action, and it's going to be very, very specific.
Yeah, Syria doesn't act like they're going to do that anyway right now. Many people are worried if we attack Syria that it could spill over into the region. It just could escalate this whole thing. Do you think it could?
There is no question that the Middle East is the Middle East. It's in a very volatile time. We have our allies there. What's going on in Egypt, in Jordan, in Syria is under a situation which is very volatile, and therefore any action could, of course, propel to more, particularly if we have such opposition. But the issue of sending a clear message is very important, and that's why it has to be very, very focused. And we also don't know. It's not going to be something that will change the game. It's not going to be something that will allow the rebels suddenly to proceed and be more successful, but because we don't know what is the alternative, but it will have to be something that sends a clear message.
That was going to be my next question. If it's just a surgical strike and we take out some of their military bases, say, for instance, would that be enough to affect the civil war there?
It's not going to be we're not interested in affecting the civil war at this point. What we're interested is in stability. We really don't know what are the other constituencies, what is the makeup, and we don't want unintended consequences. And that's why it has to be very clear, very specific.
Tricky situation. Dr. Shaul Gabbay, as always, thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Such interesting perspective there.